Sam, are you aware of any unmet needs in Janesville currently, and if so, what would be your suggestion to aid those problems?
Well, I think back to top three issues that I think every council member should have on their mind, and I think a big one is infrastructure. Like I didn't have so much time before, but right now we're only paving 4 to 6 miles of road a year. We should be doing about 14 or 15. And if you look at a graph that the city engineer Carl Weber presented to the council several times, within about the next 7 or 8 years, about 50%, half the roads in the city of Janesville will either be failing or near failing. And I don't think that's acceptable. I don't accept it. I don't think the voters of the city should accept that. I think the city council needs to be bold and brave in the next decade in finding a solution to, if not catch up, at least begin to get back on par with fixing our crumbling infrastructure. I think also that includes bridges, pipes, electrical lines. I don't think companies are going to want to invest in Janesville if when they come in to visit our city, the first things they hit on Milton Avenue are potholes. Thank you.
Thank you. DuWayne?
I go back to the survey that was done by the city in the last year. In the survey, the citizens said we need to create a more friendly and a stronger city for job creation. Job creation will solve a lot of the issues that we've talked about tonight, and also issues that we talked about at the council. If we have good paying jobs for our community, we're going to be able to pave those streets and not borrow the money. We're going to be able to take care of our parks the way we like to take care of them. We're going to be able to pay and add police officers and firemen. But we need to have a job. We need to have a community that really creates jobs. We need to be able to, again, look at everything within our city that's stopping the creation of jobs. Even if it's just 1 or 2 items, we need to bring jobs into the community. With that, we're going to raise the tax base, and everybody's going to benefit. Thanks.
Thank you. Jerry?
I agree with Sam. I think roads are a big deal. We've got lots of potholes now. We do need to spend some money to get those things corrected. Pave more roads, fix sewer lines, repair bridges. I also think that our downtown, I know people have been talking about downtown projects along the riverfront and different things. I think those needs would help with the economic development in the city, and I think that's something that we should put high on the priority list.
Thank you. Julie?
Much like my top 3 concerns, I think the unmet needs are job opportunities for the citizens of Janesville, and similar to what DuWayne had said, removing barriers for job creation, allowing businesses to come in seamlessly to our community and provide those opportunities for our citizens. I'm also in agreement with Sam on the infrastructure, because if we don't have a good travel system, companies will not be interested in joining us. They'll be much more interested in joining communities that have kept up to the pace with the maintenance needs of their city. So I think those 2 things are key.
Thank you. Douglas?
Obviously, job creation is number 1, but another thing I think Janesville needs to look at is the graying of Janesville. We're getting older. Our demographics are getting older. We need to find ways to attract young people to Janesville, to live in Janesville, to live downtown, to create a family in Janesville, come here and date and find places to go that are exciting and wholesome to do. And I think if we can do that, we can get a new spark, a little bit of vibrancy going on in this city, and it would spark the downtown growth for restaurants and shops and activities that we have, and it would help our schools with a better population of students that are willing to learn. So I think we have to figure out what we can do, not only for jobs, but also to bring young people to Janesville to live and raise a family.
Thank you. Brian?
I agree with several of the panel that job creation, economic growth is key to everything. I think we need to remove possibly some laws or ordinances that create barriers for business, that give them an excuse not to come here, and show them that we're willing to work with them and do whatever is necessary to bring their business here.
Thank you. And you raised a question or a point that I wanted to have all of you expand on, and that is, what kinds of things can the City Council do to aid job creation? And we'll start with DuWayne.
What kind of things can the city do to aid job creation? And again, I go back to what I've said before. We need to continue to look at all the rules and regulations within the city that might prevent a company from coming to Janesville. But I think we also need to work with the developers in our community in the plans that they have worked in the past to develop our downtown. By having a vibrant downtown will create jobs. So I think really those are the two things I would add for right now.
Thank you. Jerry?
Again, go back to the downtown thing, I agree with that. We need economic development. That in itself will bring jobs. Tax incentives, ease restrictions, and the tax incentives are a big one. Regulations, easing things for businesses when they come in. We need to do whatever we can as a community to make Janesville more receptive for new jobs, for new employers.
Thank you. Julie?
I'm also a proponent of tax incentives if they're done properly with parameters and if they're structured appropriately, and the businesses that are coming in also have some financial input to that as well. I think we should also be working with our representatives up in Madison. There are grant opportunities out there for job creation, and I also agree that within the city we need to modify some policies that does make it easier for businesses to come in and set up within our city limits.
Thank you. Douglas?
I think the majority of job creation in Janesville is going to come from within. I mean, it's going to be our existing buildings, businesses expanding. Janesville has invested in an innovation center down on Beloit Avenue that if you haven't seen, you should go down and take a visit. It's an incubator. It's to take the guy and his wife who are working out of their garage to find them a little bit better quality space where they can grow their business and make their ideas into reality. And the hope is that they'll outgrow the innovation center before their lease is over and invest in some of our existing buildings and grow Janesville from the inside out.
Thank you. Brian?
Well, as I said before, I think we need to remove some laws and restrictions that prevent new employers from coming here. I also think we need to be very aggressive in working with our existing businesses, with the local businesses that have been here for many years. I think they tend to get put on the back burner sometimes in the frenzy to attract new business. Unfortunately for us, at this point, we have to compete with every other city and town out there to try and get these employers. And so I think we're going to have to be, not just create tax incentives or TIF areas, but I think we're going to have to be a little creative in doing things to attract them to come here.
Thank you. Sam?
Thank you. Well, if Governor Walker's watching, if he wants to include that I-90 expansion in his budget, that'd be a great start. But I think what Julie said is a great idea. I think working with our legislators, I think a lot of this political turmoil is hopefully past us, and Madison can start to work again by working with its municipalities to help make Wisconsin and our community a friendly place for business. I think, again, tax incentives are a great tool, especially the TIF districts. One of the win or lose this election, one of the proudest things I've voted on was for the Shine medical tax incentive package that the city provided. It was one of the deciding 4 votes. One member had abstained, one had voted no. And if I had voted no or abstained myself, it wouldn't have passed. And I think Shine is going to be the new GM of Janesville. The fact that 150% of the domestic supply of Moly-99, a nuclear isotope that's used for cancer screenings, is going to be made right here in Janesville, I think is something we can all be proud of. And I think we'll create and bring in a lot of other auxiliary supporting companies to help us grow.
Thank you. We're going to start the next question with Jerry.